G'day everyone, this will be one of my last videos, if not the last video I do on this channel that's kind of like a shortened video on a particular sports betting topic. So I thought I'd do a really general top kind of tips for sports bettors at every level in sports betting. So how it's going to work is I'm going to give my biggest tip for punters, people that kind of just take sports betting for a bit of fun and like to just have a couple of bets every weekend. For beginners who are kind of want to start taking this very seriously, but are very, they're beginning to find profitable ways into sports betting. The intermediate kind of level, people that do this maybe as a side income or, take it reasonably seriously, but only spend, a couple of hours on this every week. And then the professional levels, people who make their living from sports betting, either at like a part-time level or at a full-time level. They derive all their income from sports betting. So a tip for each of those kind of levels of sports bettors. Now, I know there are lots of things people can do to improve their sports betting, so one tip's not really going to improve it too much, but hopefully this will, be a really good leap for some people. And I guess, the biggest leap that they can take into improving their sports betting. So hopefully this helps.
It is a scam when you don't allow everyone to operate on fair terms.
We are the Robin Hoods of sports betting. We take something back from the rich bookies and enable our customers to beat them instead.
So let's kick things off with a tip for punters or people that just do sports betting for fun every weekend, like to place a couple of bets on their favorite teams or their favorite league, all that kind of stuff. So my tip for them would be to open up every single bookmaker account you can that's, available to you. So whether you live in Australia or the UK or America, just open up every single bookmaker. You should be able to, especially in some of those bigger countries, open at least 10 to 15, maybe 20, 30 bookmakers that are, legitimate bookmakers. And why I say that is because you'll be able to always get the best price on whatever team or player you want to bet on. So it doesn't matter how bad your bet is. You could be, your bet could be not profitable long term. It could have no expected value at all mathematically. But because you're betting the best price every single time, you're almost guaranteed to be maybe a neutral loss, like a neutral profit and loss. So over time, over thousands of bets over your lifetime, you're not going to make or lose any money, which is probably great for you because you've had experiences and fun times just from betting. Or you'll be most likely a slightly losing bettor over time, which, if you're only losing a little bit of money, then it probably, you're almost like paying for the experience, if you get what I mean, to be cheering home a certain team or player every time you have a bet. So I think this opens up a few things too, is if you're let's just say you open up 15 different bookmaker accounts and you're always just betting into the bookmaker that has the best price on the team or the player you want to bet on, is that you can kind of deposit, let's just say every time you're going to bet $100, deposit $100 into Bet365, let's just say. Wins or loses, whatever, you get your money out if it wins. If it loses, it doesn't really matter. You got $0 in the account, because what you don't want to do is have like $100 in every single different account, because you're a punter. You haven't really got a bankroll or anything like that, so you kind of just want to deposit money into the bookmaker that you're going to use at that time. So I think what that does is, by withdrawing money all the time, every time you get a win, it might actually, even though you've won, bookmakers still want your action because they can see that it's probably not that profitable long term. So you might start getting offered bonus bets or match deposit offers for, if you deposit money into the account later. So that just opens up a few more avenues to you to get some free bets and stuff like that. So my other tip, I know I said I'd only do one, is I would just stop placing accumulators or parlays, multiples, whatever you want to call it. Just there's done a million videos on it before. I can put a link above me as to why that's the case. But if you're a punter, I would stop placing accumulators and open up as many bookmaker accounts as you can, and just always bet on the best price of something that you want to bet on. Next part, I'm going to go through a tip for beginners, people that have just kind of realize that you can make a profit from sports betting long term if you follow a few strategies, but they're literally right at the beginning and they've got no idea how to do so. My tip would be to do match betting. Now, if you've never heard of match betting before, I can leave a link above me which will explain it a lot more thoroughly than I will now. But basically, match betting is a risk-free way of making money from sports betting. So if you do it correctly, if you don't make any mistakes, which, I mean, if you make a mistake, yeah, you might make a mistake here and there, but it's not like it's a very hard thing to do. You're rarely going to make a mistake. So it's a risk-free way of making money using bookmaker deposit bonuses. So it's a good way to start and just build your bankroll. And while you build your bankroll, again, I'm kind of giving a second tip here, I would just educate yourself on value betting and what profitable sports betting looks like. So beginners, I'll rehash again, look into match betting, start doing match betting. It's the easiest way to build your bankroll. So, I mean, if depending on what country you're in, let's just say you want to dedicate $1,000 to sports betting. I reckon if you did match betting, you could almost... It's obviously dependent on how many bookmakers. Let's just say best case scenario, you're in a place like the UK where you can get loads of bonuses. I reckon you could get, you could almost quadruple your bankroll, and that way it just gives you a bigger bankroll to bet with when you start properly value betting. So yes, get into match betting. I'll leave a link above me. Before I left link above me what match betting is, and then secondly, start to educate yourself on value betting and how it works. So some really good resources for that. I'm going to plug Trademate, obviously. That's how I started. I would read our ebooks, which are on our website at tradematesports.com, and they will take you, maybe 2-3 hours to read, and it will take your sports betting from being the dumbest sports bettor in the world to, I would say, like the top 1 or 2% smartest sports bettors in the world. That is no exaggeration at all. That's the kind of information that's in those ebooks. That's what I would do. I mean, there's obviously, you can look at the YouTube channels. This YouTube channel, you can look at our blog. There's lots of good other blogs out there I've done videos on too. So yeah, just educate yourself on sports betting while you build your bankroll up through match betting, completely risk-free. All right, next part, I'm going to go through my tip for intermediate level bettors, or people that know how to make a profit from sports betting. They know all the kind of theory and, maybe they've looked at a lot of content that we've done on this channel. They understand how to profit from sports betting, but they kind of just do it as a side income and only spend a couple of hours on it each week. So my tip for this level of bettor is to specialize in something. So you've only got a couple of hours every week that you want to dedicate to sports betting. So what I would do is get really good at betting one sport or one league. Depends on the sport. So if it's soccer, I would just get good at betting one league, and maybe that's even too much. Maybe just get good at betting like a couple of teams. Maybe if you're doing something like MMA betting or UFC, just every week pick out one fight or two fights, do a bit of tape on them, whatever you want to do, how you want to make a profit from sports betting, and just specialize in a couple of fights, if you get what I mean. Specialization's the key word here. Maybe you don't even want to originate your own prices. Maybe you want to use a software like Trademate Sports. What I'm saying is just don't spread yourself too thin. Don't go and follow 10 different tipsters or 5 different tipsters. Follow 1 or 2. Understand what they're trying to do, how they make a profit from sports betting. You just use a software like Trademate Sports. Just do 1 or 2 different things. Don't try and do a million different things when you first start, because you're not going to learn that way. You're not going to you're going to spread yourself too thin, and you're not going to learn thoroughly into one certain topic or league. So no matter if you follow a tipster, use a software like Trademate at that intermediate level, or you start doing your own kind of pricing and betting on your own kind of thoughts on a particular player or a team, just really specialize in and get really good at that one thing. And I'll get onto the next section with my tip for professionals, but it kind of leads into that. It's that taking that next step into how you can use that specialization on a certain league or sport, and then move on to that professional level. So that's my my tip for intermediate bettors. All right, last part of the video is my tip for professional sports bettors. And it might seem a little bit ridiculous that I'm giving tips to professional bettors out there because, you know, they're professionals, they know what they're doing already. But I still think maybe some professionals lack in this area, and that is building relationships. So at this stage, you would assume if you're doing this for a living, sports betting as a living, that you're probably really good at your craft. You can make money. You know, whatever league, whatever sports that you're betting, you're probably really good at that. You know, you've got an edge and you can make a living from that. The problem is you need to build relationships, because, I mean, you might not to begin with, you probably don't need relationships because you've got all sorts of accounts and whatever, but as you get better and want to put more money down on stuff, you need to build relationships to be able to get more money down on certain events, or, I mean, maybe you just want to stay at small kind of stakes. But building relationships will really take your game to the next level, as you'll have access to bookmakers in different countries, hopefully. But also, I think the main thing is you're going to be exposed to other professionals, and it goes back to what I was saying about the intermediate level with specialization. If you're specializing in one league, let's just say you specialize in the English Premier League, you almost need to devote your whole week to maybe watching games, or just building up a database of specializing in that league. Most people can't just bet one league and make a living from sports betting just from betting that league. So by building relationships, what you can do is, let's just say relationship A, he bets Serie A. Relationship B, they bet La Liga. And you can kind of all start working together if you trust their opinion, and they can maybe send you their stuff. I can send my stuff to A and B and A will send their stuff to me, and you can all work together, have access to more outs, etc., etc. And next thing you know, you're betting professionally, not just on the league you are, but also A and B, as long as they're good at what they do and you trust them, etc. That's another whole topic of finding out whether they're profitable or not. But in terms of expansion and growing your business in a way, I think that's the biggest thing that professionals can do, because, you know, there's only a certain number of leagues or sports that one person can follow and derive an income from. So it's about expanding your operations and doing that in the most effective way possible. So that would be my tip for professional sports bettors. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope everyone got something out of this video. That was the aim of it. So giving tips to every single level of sports bettor. So hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and hopefully see you guys very soon. Cheers.